Thank you so much. I am overwhelmed with the support that's here in this room, and sincerely touched that everybody is here with such concern about our community. Finding out the data, what's going on, and then what we can do about it. Our nonprofit organization is Rebuild Recovery, which was formed in February of 2022 after my stepson had tragically died from a fentanyl overdose. And that, to me, was a call to action. And that something more needed to be done. In November of 2023, I was granted an expansion grant through the State Opioid Response, through the Substance Abuse Coalition Unions of Arizona, to build a coalition in zip codes 85022, 85024, 85027, and 85032, which directly impacts everybody that's here today. Thank you for being here. This is our new logo for REACH, which Julianne, our media director, has put together. It gives me goosebumps. I just think that you will be seeing this on t-shirts across our valley. Reaching every adolescent, creating hope.
It's our agenda. It's right in front of you, actually. Every one of you have a printout of that. We're going to go through this quickly, but also not too quickly, right? First, I want to introduce everybody though. So Lisa first, and then everybody else, if you want to give a quick 30-second or under introduction of who you are, your affiliation, and also I want to know a hobby that you do outside of work, something that lights your fire outside of work.
So again, I think I already introduced myself a little ahead of the slide. So
I'm Julianne Tortorella. You guys can call me Julie, or you'll hear them call me Jules. I kind of have multiple nicknames, but also I'm the coalition director, but also secretary of our nonprofit, Rebuild Recovery.
I'm Sarah Nelson. I'm the executive assistant to Rebuild Recovery and to Regional Activities Coalition, the nonprofit.
And our hobbies.
Oh yeah, what's your hobby?
I think my favorite hobby is listening to music. I like all types of music. My husband in the back there is an audiophile, and he has really upped my game with the type of music and the fidelity that we listen to. So,
and the way you listen to it.
The way we listen to it, yes. So I think that would be my favorite hobby.
Definitely working out for me. I just love working out and spinning. I'm a spin instructor outside of everything else that I do.
I like to ride horses, not right now, obviously, but I like to ride horses.
And why not right now?
Why not? Yeah.
Because I'm pregnant.
So you have one more week and then
Yeah.
no more.
I'm Chris. I'm the IT guy for the coalition. I like playing video games.
Okay, awesome.
Right. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tech Sergeant Pena. I'm with the Arizona Counter Drug Task Force, the Drug Demand Reduction Outreach Team. I support the coalitions. So I've been assigned to Lisa, so I'm helping her get the coalition running, and we do support. And then also we do a lot of her events. We'll be doing events where we're reaching out to the kids, middle school kids, high school kids as we start to get in schools. There's something about our uniform that if you go to a bunch of kids in a high school or even middle school, they flock to you, right? It's a good talking point. They open up to us because they're the source, right? We see what's going on, what they're being told. We do amazing things, and Lisa, she's doing amazing things. So thank you for being here. Your support means a lot because a coalition doesn't go anywhere without your support, right? So it means a lot to us. Thank you for being here.
What's your hobby?
Oh, my hobby. I take pictures. I like taking pictures. Sports, more sports stuff. Yeah, sports photography.
Awesome. So if we could go around the room in 30 seconds, tell us your name, the organization that you're affiliated with, and your favorite hobby. Do you want to start?
I can start, yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Sodi and I'm with the City of Phoenix Office of Public Health, serving as the Youth Substance Abuse Prevention Specialist. With the weather getting better, I am on the pickleball courts evening, so really enjoying that these days.
My name is Kieran Madrid. I'm the CFO for Northern Home, and my hobby, I would have to say, is kickboxing. That's what I do outside.
Nice.
My name's Anna Barrios. I'm the CEO of Two Berlin Home, and my hobby would be reading and research.
Very nice.
There you go. Thanks, Sergeant Nathan Secrets, National Guard Counter Drug Task Force. I guess favorite hobby would be woodworking.
Sergeant Sanders, obviously I work with these gentlemen here at the Counter Drug Task Force as well. I'd say that my favorite hobby is probably anything outdoors.
My name is Lauren Young. I'm the coordinator with SACLA, which is the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders in Arizona. Besides surfing, I like restoring furniture.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amanda Hoskin. I'm the director of a different drug prevention coalition, and my area is 7th Street to 43rd Avenue, and then Union Hills down to Glendale Avenue. So that's the area that I serve. And my hobby, I was thinking about this on the way here. I like to do puzzles, but I haven't done them in a while. And I like to work out too.
Hi, I'm Laura Robbins. I'm with the Black Mountain Community Alliance, Deer Valley Park Neighborhood Block Watch organization. And my hobby would be probably teaching ancient skills at Sonoma Ivy Museum on the third Saturday of every month. That's one of my hobbies.
Okay, I'm Nicole Witt. I'm the public health advisor for the city of Phoenix. We work at the city manager's office, and one of our responsibilities is located at 7.
Yes.
Oh, hobby, hiking with my dogs.
I'm Stephanie Greenleaf. I'm at the City of Phoenix Office of Homeless Solutions. And my hobby, I love a good concert and riding motorcycles.
Victoria Prince, concerned citizen, and my hobby is reading.
Vince Delaire, husband of Lisa, who's giving the presentation, and today I'm the cameraman.
And your favorite
hobby? Well, like you'd already said, audiophile. Yeah.
Audiophile.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kim Stedding-Wright. I'm an ex-adolescent teacher concerned about the situation. And my hobby, listening to music. I think music is my passion, so it's my favorite.
And as for me, so my name is Sean McMahon, and I serve as a grassroots engagement director for Citizens of Free Enterprise. So we work on protecting free enterprise and actually want to make sure to come up with measures to stop all the fentanyl crisis. So that's just one example. So as for my hobby, I'm a novel writer, want to be a novel writer, write up superheroes and action adventure stuff. So that's what I do on my pastime.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Nicole Perdue. I'm with Banner, and my hobby would be painting.
Very cool.
Hi, Stephanie Anderson, HR Director for the Coalition, and also a partner in Rebuild Recovery.
And hobby?
Oh, hobby. Exercise anything. Indoor, outdoor, I love it. It's releasing.
Gary?
Gary with OCJ Kids, stands for Opportunity, Community, and Justice for foster kids. And favorite habit would be hunting and fishing in that order. I like killing.
But you save children.
I do, yes.
I'm Tim Buchanan, pharmacist, owner of the Nice Apothecary. We're an independent pharmacy in Phoenix. Favorite hobby would be building businesses.
Very nice.
Good afternoon, my name is Tom Argero. I'm the executive director of the North Phoenix Chamber of Commerce. I enjoy juggling and studio plays.
My name is Michael M. Benson. I'm a government affairs attorney. Favorite hobby between baseball and the opening day.
Very nice.
John McQuillan. I work for Phoenix Police Department as a community action officer out of Black Mountain Precinct. My hobby is metal crafting.
Ooh, nice.
Officer Tim Tours, also a community action officer from Black Mountain Precinct, and I like the outdoors too, but fishing and hunting are probably my two favorite ones. Yes.
Awesome.
I'm Rob Rodarm. I'm a patrol sergeant in the Black Mountain Precinct. I'm a huge drummer, specifically to Rush music. That's my I love Rush. That's my band.
Very Very cool. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. So I'd like to first go through REACH's mission and vision statement. So our mission is to provide awareness and education to prevent substance use disorders in order for people to personally thrive and positively impact the community. Our vision, our big vision, is to rebuild our community where people are inspired to choose substance-free lifestyles and reach their full potential. So what is a coalition, Jules?
Well, the literal definition is a collaboration of individuals for a combined call to action. So we're built by the community for the community, all of us. Coalitions consist of a community stakeholders representing 12 sectors of the community that organize to meet the local prevention needs of the youth and families in our community. We're going to go over our 12 sectors in just a bit. We bring together individuals with a similar passion and interest in preventing and mitigating substance misuse in the communities. We bring education into facilities through presentations to spread awareness. And why form a coalition in North Phoenix?
Well, that brings us to our local map, and then we're going to get into some data. So as I had previously said, our zip code area service areas are 85022, 2427, and 85032. In 850, and then we have a map here, so it stems from Carefree Highway down to Cactus, and we're at 35th Avenue over to Central Avenue. So it's quite a large population area of over 180,000 residents. In 85022, we have 51,826 residents, 26th most populated out of 400 zip codes in the state. I think that was pretty alarming, but we'll get more alarming as we go down. And that zip code in particular is from Cactus to Union Hills, and then Central to Cave Creek. And then, what we have down here, so 85022. 85024 is comprised of 22,898 residents from Union Hills to Joe Max and from Central to Cave Creek. 85027, 37,140 residents from Union Hills to Pinnacle Peak, 35th Avenue to Central. And this is the most alarming is 85032, where we encroach upon Paradise Valley. We're at 68,805 residents. It's the 6th most populated zip code out of 405 zip codes in the state of Arizona. And that is from Cactus to Union Hills and then Cave Creek to Tatum. And again, that total population is over 180,000. I would like to give a good plug for Black Mountain Police Precinct because this is their area. And they have a lot of work out there that they're doing. I really do appreciate the community action officers being here. I know you gentlemen are very busy. Phoenix is 600 men down, looking, to try to help lessen their workload. And that's what coalitions do. Again, built by the community, for the community, to prevent substance use before it starts. That is primarily what we do. It doesn't mean that if we find somebody that needs treatment, then we're not going to send them to treatment. But what we want to do is see these effects coming about in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now, that all of these numbers in the data that I'm going to show you next do dramatically decrease. Adolescent substance misuse.
In this national call to action, we are addressing alcohol, marijuana, vaping, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. Those are our target substances. There was 121% increase in overall national teen overdose deaths due to substance misuse from 2010 to 2021. Vaping and high-potency THC products has produced most concerning results nationally. The thing about the high-potency THC products is we're talking about back in the day when they were 3%, 5%. Now we're at 99% potency. It's incredible. It's really, really horrible, actually.
So this is not the same marijuana you're saying that came in
It is
flower
not the
form
same.
That was smoked in the 60s.
It is concentrated. It's
so
dangerous.
we're up to 97, 98%,
yeah.
99%. 99% potency.
Yep.
So in addition to the vaping, when I was at Amanda Barbell Saves Coalition, she had a phenomenal speaker, Stephanie Siete, which I hope to have one day. We hadn't heard her before, but she did talk about the dangers of vaping and what those liquids need to be heated up to in order to produce the vaping effects.
400 degrees. 400 degrees.
Which actually damages all of the fibrous. Yes,
Thank you.
in the lungs, absolutely, thank you.
So 36.8% of 9th through 12th grade students had used marijuana in their lifetime.
This is nationally?
Nationally. 32.7 stated that they were currently using an electric vape product.
The Arizona Youth Survey, in particular, states.
In 2022, they stated that 34.3% of 12th grade students had used marijuana in their lifetime, and that 14.8% of 12th grade students are currently using e-cigarettes.
And this goes down to 3rd grade, that SROs, school resource officers, are finding that 3rd graders are now vaping. So I know back when I was in high school or younger in the 70s and 80s, you know, if somebody smoked a cigarette in the bathroom or tried to use marijuana, you know, that was a big deterrent. Those deterrents aren't there because the vapors are so obscured that we don't know that children are vaping. But the SROs have reported to me that this is starting as young as 3rd grade. And to me, that's just heartbreaking because this is when our brains are still developing. We'll get into some of the data. This data is provided by Shana Malone. She was the Director of Statistics for the Arizona Criminal Justice Commission. She is now independently contracted through the Substance Abuse Coalition, Leaders of Arizona, to aggregate our data for each community. So all this data in the next 2 slides, you'll see it's specific about our community in North Phoenix. 1 in 4 youth have used substances in the past 30 days. To me, that's really alarming. Right, that's 25% of our kids in the last 30 days have used some sort of substance. Most common are alcohol, marijuana, nicotine vape. 6.5% have used opioids in their lifetime. These are children. And one pill can kill, and we're going to get to that in June. The average of the first use for our youth is 13.4 years old. But 23% started drinking as early as elementary school, and 12% started using marijuana and nicotine vape in elementary school. So again, we're not even talking about high school students anymore. I remember going to Soro High School in Scottsdale, and if people wanted to smoke or whatnot, they walked across the street. That's not even the case anymore. They can do it right in the bathroom. 1 in 10 youth are using marijuana concentrates, and this rises to 17% among our high school seniors. These high THC forms are very dangerous for the developing adolescent brain. This is what is the most alarming, and this is why we're all here today for this call to action, because REACH, North Phoenix rates are 12.6% higher than the state rate. So this is over El Mirage, Apache Junction, Gila Bend. Name any city that you would think that the rates would be higher as opposed to North Phoenix, and then that's where we're at. We're hoping to bring this significantly down. We don't want to be number 1 in the state. Rates of underage drinking, nicotine vaping, and use of marijuana concentrates are over 44% higher among our teen girls compared to the male peers. And this is where myself and the REACH Coalition with the National Guard are going to be doing a deeper dive into our environment, what's going on with the pond. So when you see, I'm not going to go into the frog in the pond analogy, but the frogs are the people in the pond is our environment. What is it in our environment that's creating this? Why are the girls, now higher than the boys when that used to be flip-flopped back in the day? So I'm really interested to dig deep into that data and work more with our community stakeholders on that, which I'm hoping, are mostly here today, and if we're going to get into that a little bit later. And these are the risk factors specifically in our community. 46% of our youth say it's easy to get alcohol, marijuana, and nicotine vapes. That's a pretty high percentage to me. These are youth. these aren't adults, so that it's the girl, they walk into the store, this is youth. 36% of our youth, and 10% say it's easy to get fentanyl. So it just seems to be non-discriminatory, and to me that just really saddens me and scares me for the trajectory of where our community is going. 36% of our youth think there is no risk involved with regular use of alcohol, marijuana, and nicotine vapes, which means that we look into then is it a community norm? Is it parental consent? Why is it that 36% of our youth think that there's no risk involved? That's over a third. Almost half of our youth have never had a conversation with their parents about the risks of alcohol and drugs or ways to get themselves out of a situation or conflict. And I would like to ask one of the sergeants if they can kind of just touch on that about the conversations that you have with the youth in the schools through the Thrive program.
Well, I think it kind of correlates, the 28% says there's been no, communication, right? We're not talking about it. So the 36%, they think it's okay, they don't see any use, because guess what? If we're not talking to them, guess who they're talking to, right? Social media, right? They're seeing how social media is talking to them, right? And of course, if I'm a vape company, I'm gonna advertise. I don't wanna tell the truth about my product, I need to make money, right? They're learning for kids at school, right? The wrong people, they're learning from the wrong people. And that's where we come in as a coalition. We get that awareness, that education, like, it's evidence-based, right? This is what it is, this is what vape does to you. Just, because, I'm part of other coalitions, we get into schools and, I've had like 4th graders, tell me that, their brother overdosed. We might think that, oh, they're too young or this, but somehow it affects us, right? Like I said, that 3rd grader lost a brother. So it's conversations that we need to have, even though we think they're not out there seeing stuff, they are seeing stuff. So it's super important to have those conversations. And kids, they're funny. They're funny. They're open. They tell you things, about their parents. Like, my dad does this, this and that. But again, it's as we're educating them, they're going home and telling their parents about it. Like, oh, that's not good, And because a lot of times, even in the high school, like, what this is doing to your body. You know what vape's doing. I don't know, everybody does it, but I don't know. It's safer than smoking. That's what they think, right? It's just that miseducation. So it's important we get out there and have those conversations and show them facts. This is what's happening. You have 23-year-olds with severe lung issues, right? Severe breathing issues. And it's happening. And they freak out, right? And they're like, oh man, I don't want to do that. I like playing sports. I like, playing basketball, and that's what you're jeopardizing. But it's just getting that mindset of what's really out there and how it will affect them if they can, choose to go that route. So, yeah.
And as Sergeant Pena was saying, getting into the schools and teaching the kids about the dangers of this. The Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona, SACLA, has created a toolkit from the state that we actually have evidence-based practices and PowerPoints and basically like curriculums that we bring into the schools, to the community, to the parents, to the caretakers, to you want me there, we'll be there. And we'll teach about the dangers of alcohol, vaping, fentanyl. But I did skip this one, which I definitely didn't want to. Thank you. Not just 36% of our youth think there's no risk involved with the regular use of alcohol, marijuana, and nicotine vapes, which just seems to be a gateway. But 28% there's no risk in using fentanyl.
Wow.
Where are we headed with that? That's my biggest concern. Well, these are all my biggest concerns, but the fact that this number is so high that there's no risk in using fentanyl with the rate of overdose deaths today, that's very concerning. And that half of our youth have never had a conversation with their parents. So we're here to have those conversations with the parents. We're here to bring that to the PTA. We're here to bring that to the caregivers. We're here to bring that to the foster homes so that we can then disseminate that information. Over 1 in 3 of our youth reported using in the past 30 days to cope with stress or sadness. The stress part I can kind of see. It could be coming out of COVID. It could be academic pressures. It could be sport pressures. But sadness, where does that come from? I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into that. But you know, it was interesting, I did not pick this book up, but as I walked through the doors, this is the new library book. I'm sad. It's for children. You know, I don't remember these sorts of books when I was a youngster, maybe how to deal with my emotions, but sadness, right? So they're already having books in libraries about kids being sad. So I kind of really want to look into what that's all about. Also, almost 2 out of 3 of our youth indicated that they often or almost always feel stressed in the past week. So that's over 67% of children are stressed. You know, so how do we cope with stress if we don't teach them resiliency and we don't teach them healthy outlets? How are they coping with their stress? They're turning to self-medicate. And 1 in 7 said they had no source of social support. So we're hoping to change that number as well. So that 7 out of 7 say they do have social support. So now we're going to get into the 12 sector representatives.
Our 12 sector representatives recognize that local problems need local solutions. So the Drug-Free Community funded our coalition to engage the community to employ a variety of environmental strategies to address the misuse. The DFC, or Drug-Free Community Coalition, consists of community stakeholders that organize to meet the local prevention needs of the youth and families in their community. By funding these coalitions, the DFC support program ensures communities adapt a balanced and comprehensive approach to reducing substance misuse in their neighborhoods. Our 12 representatives are right over here, and Lisa's going to go into them a little bit more detailed.
So when we talk about the youth representative, it is an individual 18 years or younger. However, there is a little wiggle room for young age college students now to be our youth sector representative. So as we're here from the community and we're looking for our stakeholders that are very interested in making these changes and being a part of it, these are the 12 sector representatives that we're looking for. And if it wouldn't be you today, if it might be somebody that you do know that would be very interested. The commitment to that is not much. It's pretty much bringing to the table, ensuring that the community leaders among the representatives are doing what they said that they were going to do, holding to the fidelity of what we said that our mission and our vision is. Ensuring clear communication between the sector representatives and the community, acting as a positive role model for the youth, family, and peers, supporting the coalition's meeting and coming to our monthly meetings. Coming to the table and helping us find solutions, giving ideas. The business sector, I believe that Tom, the executive director to the North Phoenix Chamber, has agreed to represent our business sector. So thank you so much, Tom, for that. I really do appreciate that. Media, a representative of a communication outlet that provides information to the community. So if you or anybody you know does that, please get them in touch with me. I'd really love to sit down and have some coffee, take them to lunch, and have that conversation with them. Schools, a representative of the school system with influence in school practices, policies, and procedures. Again, if you or anybody you know has that sort of connection and would like to be involved in these zip codes, please have them get a hold of me. I'd love to sit down, take them to lunch, and have that communication. Youth Serving Organization. Gary is here with OCJ Kids. He has signed a coalition involvement agreement. He's very interested in being involved in getting on the solution end of what is really happening. Unfortunately, the statistics are that 60% of children that age out of the foster care system do end up homeless or incarcerated. And we're going to work very hard to reduce that number. We're very passionate and dedicated about that. And when we took a tour of your organization, I think my tears represented that as well. But it's amazing work that you're doing. If nobody has had an opportunity to know what Gary's doing, I really invite you because it's God's work. It's amazing. Our youth serving our law enforcement. A representative of a law enforcement agency, the representative must be a sworn law officer. We do have, did we have on Zoom?
He's on here. Yeah.
Shannon Shield?
Tommy's on here and Candace is on here.
Okay, well, hello everyone. Hello, Tommy. Shannon Shannon's not on? No. Okay, so we do have Tommy Morga, who is also with the Counter Drug Task Force, Drug Demand Reduction Outreach, and Shannon Shield is representing Maricopa County Sheriff's Office to be our law enforcement support. Our religious fraternal organizations, representative of faith-based organization, and must be a leader, not a member of the coalition. So we're looking for that as well. I do know that I've had several people approach me on that. And so I'm looking forward again to taking somebody to lunch, having a cup of coffee, and just having a discussion as to what that would look like. Civic volunteer organization, a representative of an organization that provides civic or volunteer activities to the community. Healthcare professional, an individual legally allowed to provide physical, mental, or behavioral healthcare services. State, local, or tribal government agency with expertise in the field of substance abuse. A representative of a government-funded agency with a focus on substance abuse. I have gotten a strong interest from our District 1 Councilwoman, Ann O'Brien, in being a member of the coalition and has asked for a coalition involvement agreement. Also reached out to Deb Starks, and then in District 3 would be
Deb Starks, District 3, District
2 is Jim Murray. So they have also expressed some interest, but Ann O'Brien, I'm sporting her badge today, as she asked me to. And then other organizations involved in reducing substance abuse. So a community organization that reduces substance abuse. And I do believe that I do have quite a few of those on board as well. And if you know of any that you think that would be interested, again, please have them contact me. I'd be willing to have lunch with them, take them for a cup of coffee, and have that conversation what that looks like. Yes?
Lisa, you shared with me too a sense of urgency here. April 15th is kind of the deadline to get these slots filled and people committing to this. Right?
Yeah, the deadline is that there is a call to action. There's an immediate need. Reach North Phoenix is in danger. Our kids are in danger. So I need to get this done as quickly as possible. Just so that we can get the formal policies set in place, the coalition involvement agreements, so that then I can go out and start delivering the information dissemination, the presentations, and getting out into the community. But until I get those community stakeholders, it's very hard to disseminate the information that we have for youth, adults, caretakers, and the community itself, unless I do have those stakeholders at the table.
Without our representatives, we don't have our coalition. We need our representatives in order to have a coalition.
So yes, you need all 12 by the 15th?
We need them. We will.
We don't set up. So as soon as possible.
We need them for the coalition as well.
So again, coalitions are built by the community for the community, and that's why we're looking for our 12 sectors. Okay, we're in open discussion. So today, I feel like we went through a little bit, quick. This is my first official coalition meeting. So if anybody didn't notice, it is. I hope to get a little bit smoother as we go along and make this an action-packed meeting so that we can walk away. So the first meeting, I did want to just present to everybody kind of what a coalition is. You know, when I started working in this in November, I wasn't even sure what the difference was between a coalition and an alliance. You know, this is a group of people that really are volunteers that feel that there is a need and an immediate call to action to do something to change the community to a healthier.
What are some examples of the meetings that we have or events that we have as a coalition?
So I will be having a table at the Adulting Summit for OCJ Kids. So I want to highly suggest that any recruiters from law enforcement, Air Guard, anybody that would like to contact OCJ Kids, I know that they are looking for people at the Adulting Summit, for youth that are looking for future careers, to disseminate information, to give a little bit of education and awareness as to what path they don't need to go down.
60% of them go down that path, right? That's
Right.
the 60% from the foster, from graduating foster care? Is that
So
the?
when they age out of foster care, 60% do become homeless or incarcerated.
So how cool would that be if we introduce them to, hey, instead of that, do you want to be a police officer? Look into this, right? So just being there to encourage them on, or guide them really. They don't have the guidance, so we can be that for them.
Right, but we do disseminate information at schools, at carnivals, at flea markets. I've gone around to, Sarah's gone around with our community survey, and we go to outside malls. We have a lot of information on the back table over here that again has been SACLA approved through the state, knowing what's going on online. So Snapchat is the biggest drug dealer in town now. Children don't have to go anywhere, and it's brought to their home, to their front door. Yes, when we, in 2 weeks, when we do or in 2 months, when we do our presentation on fentanyl awareness and our Narcan training, which I'm always available to do overdose prevention and Narcan training. I'm also through the EZDHS, a certified Narcan distributor. So if anybody needs Narcan, please again get a hold of me. I have cases of it to be able to disseminate to you. But we are going to be doing more presentations on Snapchat, the dangers of that, how to put the safety features on your child's phone. There's a new trach warning in town, so xylazine. It's being put into the fentanyl, and Narcan does not reverse a sedative. So that's really important to know about. Also the Good Samaritan law. If somebody is overdosing, we can text 911. We don't always have to call 911 now. So there's a lot of fentanyl facts over here, what to do if someone is overdosing, how to there is no recognition as to a counterfeit fentanyl pill and an authentic OxyContin pill, so that's dangerous. Fentanyl facts for families, stigma flyers. So all this information is for you to take with you.
So, what substances do you feel the youth are misusing in the community? It's open discussion for anyone. What substances do you see?
I would say in the foster community, it's marijuana because we've legalized it. That's a great point of that, hallelujah. But they think there's nothing wrong with it, it's legal, so it's okay, and it's very easy to get access to, so they're turning to that a lot, we're seeing a lot of opportunities with the marijuana.
And that's really dangerous because their brains aren't fully developed yet. So if we're using before we're 25 or 27 years old, we're affecting the way we are now going to be using our brain, or our brain is going to function for us. So at the age of 14 or 12 and we're smoking marijuana, we're opening ourselves up to now putting ourselves at a disadvantage, right, to the other kids. We want to be at an advantage. We want to be learning. We want to be getting opportunities. And smoking marijuana at 12 years old is probably not going to give us that opportunity that we need. Marijuana also, I feel like, is tricky because we see a lot of parents doing it in medical marijuana. So when children don't understand medical versus not medical, right, recreational, it gets really fuzzy for them, and they're not really old enough to really understand that. So, yeah, thank you.
It also goes along with the, like, same problem with alcohol, you know, without having that education to know what's going on, they just think that because it's legal, that it's not really harmful to them.
But it's jet fuel. Like, we're literally putting jet fuel into our body, but nothing's wrong with that. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you.
I feel like it gets unspoken a lot, but Adderall is actually misused a lot.
Adderall.
Yeah, that's from the parents. That's from the parents studying the law concept of dopamine.
Yeah, because we're misdiagnosing. We're telling kids that are overactive in a classroom because they can't sit still for 8 hours. Now they're ADD or ADHD, and now they're going to be medicated just to sit still. But how does that medicine help them to sit still, right?
There's one precursor, so a lot of the fentanyl and opioid situation that occurred started off by prescribers not being able to dispense it. So people started reverting to heroin use, and that started getting laced with the fentanyl and everything that we see now. Unfortunately now with amphetamines, Adderall, Ritalin, and Vyvanse, all those traditional designer medications are now currently on back order. So we have a very, very big situation that's on the bubble with amphetamine use going on. So I know that this is a huge problem, which I applaud you for taking ownership with it and doing the fentanyl, but I'm glad that you're also addressing the methamphetamine with it too, because that is going to be the next thing that's going to be even more dangerous. Because if somebody's on opioids, they're docile. It's dangerous because they can die because of an overdose, but when it's methamphetamine, then it becomes a public health issue. Then you have dangers that if we have a police force that is not currently employed at the status that it needs to be at, we have more people using speed on the streets, that creates a social impact.
You're absolutely right.
Also, the methamphetamine we're seeing today is more potent and just crazy than it ever used to be, and it actually decays people from the inside out. It's nuts, but the spike that we're seeing in the methamphetamine after it's been kind of quiet is the poly drug use, so people are using it to counteract the fentanyl more than we've seen before. So,
And Lauren, with SACLA, is talking about the new meth 2.0. So it's more potent, more dangerous,
more pure, cheaper,
more addictive, cheaper. I had been in professional counseling since 2015, and I do know that meth was much harder for people to get into recovery with than opioids. And the fact that it is much more dangerous nowadays is alarming. So you're absolutely right. And it could be that Adderall and all those stimulants still give that same effect, but now it's legal, so they can legally take it.
And backward, as you told me.
I was gonna say it's not back ordered.
If it's not,
Nationally.
nationally it's backward, not just at your pharmacy.
Yeah, I don't sell any of these class 2 substances at all.
Oh, you don't?
From what I understand, there's also a mix of fentanyl in the methamphetamines to make it more addictive, and that can be more dangerous too, because people are overdosing by accident, not realizing, and then they're also getting more addicted to it, because they're wondering why, if they're smoking methamphetamine, why they're falling asleep, and then they smoke more and more, and it becomes more addictive, and next thing you know, they're in a cycle, and then they end up in a detox center, and they're testing positive for fentanyl and meth, going, whoa, I only smoke meth, not fentanyl, but it's like a cross-addiction problem. People don't even know. It's in cocaine, it's in a lot of different substances. Like nowadays, you really don't know what you're smoking. And that's the scary part when it comes to outreach, to talking to people in the community, because they really don't know what they're doing. And next thing you know, you have someone who thinks they're smoking meth, but they're overdosing on fentanyl, because it's just too much for this.
Very nice. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes.
It's me. So I probably won't take too much time with this. So like, how did you guys actually reach out to like public officials and what they're come up with solutions for this? Because I know there's a lot of factors could play in. Order one is probably obvious. There could be some drug cartels who could be moving in all these fentanyl drugs, and what could we do to actually help these business people, whoever sell and supplying these kids these drugs, so that do we have like an accountability system or any policy ideas proposal that you will think that will help decrease all these numbers for it?
That's a really good question. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm here from the City of Phoenix Office of Public Health. I won't speak for my police colleagues, but there is a drug enforcement unit within the City of Phoenix and certainly across the state. And I know that their focus is removing that supply. So certainly that's one approach. As I mentioned in the beginning, we are receiving or will be receiving settlement dollars for opioid settlements. So those are lawsuits against pharmaceutical companies, similar to tobacco settlements back in the day. And so so we are currently in the process of determining what that plan will look like for how we use those settlement dollars over the course of the next 18 years. Our office works very closely with Kimberly Fowler and the leadership of SACWA, so excited to be here. But you're right, it's very multifaceted. It includes, it's not easy. It's both, what is on our streets, what education is on our streets, but also, treatment, recovery, supports, what is currently in place. So we're sort of looking at all of that as well. We're not the only ones receiving settlement dollars, so you should know. If you don't know, most of those settlement dollars are with the state. So 56% are with the AG's office, and so they'll be spent legislatively, and then cities and towns have a small proportion based on their population, and Maricopa County Health Department has a large proportion of those funds and are also looking on how to invest them within and across the county. So doesn't directly answer your question of like what's the solution, but I don't think we know what the solution is. I don't think any community has figured that out, but there is definitely a lot of work and collaboration happening on how can we intervene in all of those buckets.
Yeah, especially with all the mental health stuff that's been rising up for all these kids. So like after from COVID, have you seen like after from the school thing or the took it a year thing, it's not surprising to see these numbers spiked up, like if you don't like with all the supply chain issue with the medication, which I mean, I have ADHD, so I struggle with like focus and concentration, so I actually take prescriptions for it just to help me focus and concentrate, but now like there's so many like easier ways for these kids to get to, and there's no accountability for that, so that is very alarming that I'm like seeing this, and I'm glad that I actually got the chance to participate, because I know, even though I'm maybe a business guy at first, but this stuff does affect the entire community and affects.
And working in the substance abuse treatment field for over a decade, people that were addicted to opiates would be given free methamphetamine. That was across the board for over a decade. So and I know being at Councilwoman Ann O'Brien's meeting the other night, Black Mountain Precinct had reported that they do have a 30% increase in arrests. So there is a lot of action being taken with the limited force that they have.
And piggybacking on what she was saying earlier, we do have the Drug Enforcement Bureau that does nothing with that, but every single precinct also has a neighborhood enforcement team that has undercover cars and stuff like that, and depending on the crimes that we have going on, they work on those. About a week and a half ago, they did some follow-up on a dealer and were able to take, I think it was 15,000 fentanyl pills off. It was powdered, there was 100 grams of powdered fentanyl, methamphetamines, guns, but it's also at the precinct level that we have those undercover guys too. The Drug Enforcement Bureau is trying to take off the bigger fish, like you were talking about, the supply chain. They're trying to cut that off. But we also have guys in precinct that are doing the local stuff as well, just specifically to our precinct. So there are some stuff in place for the law enforcement side as far as the police department goes.
Let me answer your question. Okay, we go back to that. And there has been, in the last 3 years, there's been at least 2 or 3 dozen pieces of legislation introduced to actually give law enforcement and prosecutors the ability to prosecute dealers and put them away for a long time and protect, I don't want to say protect, but not prosecute those who have addictions, and money to put into more addiction recoveries and things like that. However, it gets to a certain point within the legislature and it dies. There's not enough money, this, that, and the other thing, or the governor vetoes it. Both last governor and the current one have vetoed legislation to give law enforcement more tools in their tool chest to actually arrest and prosecute. So legislation has been introduced. There was a piece of legislation this year that it was negotiated out that you had to have, I think, 10,000 pills before you could be prosecuted for life in prison. Fentanyl, 10,000 fentanyl pills.
That's a lot.
And it was killed.
Wow.
So if you want legislation done, talk to your elected officials. vote the right people into office. Ask them the tough questions on the campaign trail. You want things done in your community, get involved. It's plain and simple. Say again?
Yeah.
Laura, are they gonna use any of that money statewide for border security to stop the flow of these drugs coming over? I mean, that's
a golden question.
Bill was vetoed this year to be able to do that.
I mean, that would help. Also, my daughter is a high school principal, and she said that confiscating these vape pens is nonstop. And they make them now so that they look like pens. You don't even know that they are. I mean, they look like makeup. I mean, it's
as young as third grade, they're hiding them in their sleeves, they're inhaling, and then blowing out through their jackets.
But even just finding the vape pens, but she confiscates them constantly.
I heard there's drawers full.
Yeah.
Drawers full. Marijuana and nicotine.
So I was in coalition also.
I was just gonna say, those funds, and if you haven't read it, you can go online and see the conditions of which they can be spent. It's the One Arizona Agreement. They cannot be spent for enforcement, so they are meant to be spent on what's called abatement strategies, which would be things in prevention.
Wouldn't stopping in the first place make more sense?
Yeah, they just can't be spent that way. They can be spent on treatment, recovery, prevention initiatives, training, things like that.
Lisa, your next slide, is that on the SPIF?
We're gonna go into the SPIF at the next meeting.
At the next meeting, okay, I didn't remember if
You
had
gave it away, Shane.
I didn't remember. I didn't remember there was a teaser, but the reason why I mentioned it is just for the
Yes.
sake of time for everybody.
Please.
Everything, the conversations, very enthralling. I got distracted just listening to you guys talk. I loved every bit of it. But for the sake of time and respecting people's time, kind of getting back to the presentation. But what I will add, and since I gave it away, the next meeting we'll go over the SPIF, which is the Strategic Prevention Framework, right? And how the coalition is going to try to make these community changes. And everything that I'm hearing from you guys today is phenomenal for identifying risk factors and how we can create protective factors to address those issues. And all of that will be covered extensively in the next meeting.
Thank you, Shane.
Yeah, just to wrap up the whole picture, that's why it's so important to have so many different sectors involved in this, because we all have different viewpoints, we all have different experiences, we all have different skill sets, and this is a continuum, right? This addiction, the child abuse, I mean, all the stuff that's going on that we can't control, it's just a continuum, and we're trying to interject at every point that we can to mitigate and offset, and so that's where your thinking comes in. You know, you could go to the local liquor stores and marks and have them put no under 21 stickers on it. We have our kids going in there and doing it, and they get to interact with the shops and stuff like that, or even going to the grocery stores and saying, hey, move your liquor to the back where kids can't steal it. There's just little things we can do, educate in the home. We do our county behind to some of our city police departments. That's been really, really helpful. But those are just ideas of what you guys can do. And there's so many different ways to intervene.
Tom has a question.
Well, just like, not a question or comment, I'd like to piggyback on something that Michael said about being aware of who your elected officials are and making smart decisions on that. As a Chamber of Commerce within the next 6 months, we're in the middle of the election cycle. Keep an eye on our calendar, and we're going to start bringing in candidates for some forums and some discussion with both sides of the aisle, because I want, particularly the business community, but I think we have stakeholders here in the room as well, that need to hear and have those questions, ask these questions and have those conversations. If you don't know how to get hold of your state legislators, keep an eye on the chamber calendar. It might be a way to get you in front of
Fantastic. Fantastic.
If you don't know how to get in touch with your state legislator, get with me before you leave. I will show you how to do it. That's what I do.
Gary.
Do you have any leads for the faith community? I've got a lot of ties into that, and do they have to be in one of the zip codes to participate?
They do have to be. They do have to be in one of the zip codes.
Okay.
Yes.
But do you have any leads so far? Or?
I do have some leads through Tom. However, I'd be definitely
I'll
open
try to reach out and see
because I don't need just one sector representative.
Right.
Ideally, we'd like a few from each sector.
Okay. I'll do my best to try to get some stuff.
Thank you, Gary. Last questions, I think we went through that. Upcoming meetings. Every fourth Thursday of the month, April 25th, we're going to be getting into the solution. So this is the what with the data, what's going on in our environment. Wow, I mean, to me, all of that data from our state statistician was shocking. And I am eager to just roll my sleeves up and get my hands dirty and start doing the work that needs to be done. We're going to be getting into the solution with the strategic prevention framework, as Shane had said. And then on May 30th, we're going to be doing a little more fentanyl awareness, but I did give everybody, the dates changed on here. We did move some things around. So this is going to be covered on May 30th, fentanyl awareness, overdose prevention, Narcan administration. Any more upcoming information, we'll have it rebuildrecovery.org.
Will the meetings always be here, or are they gonna be different locations?
You know, I had found that this seems to be convenient unless anybody had any other ideas, and it's free, which is great. Hybrid.
Will it be at 1 p.m.?
Yes, 1 p.m., 1 to 2 p.m., the last Thursday of every month. And then here's some statewide resources. If the fourth Thursday.
There could be those odd months.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. The fourth Thursday, and you're always looking out for me. And Amanda does have Barbell Saves Coalition, which is our sister coalition, which is, what are your?
It's south of here, so 43rd Avenue to 7th Street, and then Union Hills down to Glendale.
So anybody that wants to be involved, Amanda's coalition meetings are
the third Friday of each month at noon.
We can get you that information as well if you know anybody in that area.
Also, if you guys want to come to our big SACLA meetings, we have those every other month. I'm not going to confuse you. But we have, over 100 people attend every month. We have different speakers. So if you're interested in seeing statewide what we're doing, reach out to Lisa. And she can, it's via Zoom, so she can forward the.
We can get you on the statewide meetings via Zoom as well. If anybody's like to take a picture of this, these are our statewide resources, courtesy of SACLA.
Oh yeah, it's next Friday.
Next Friday. Next Friday is the SACLA meeting, so if anybody would like to attend, please contact me. My contact information is on our.
You can reach out to me too.
Okay. I'd like to give everybody my phone number right now. I don't see it on the agenda. So y'all have a pencil, 480. Or put it in the phone. 480-306-3297. I'm old school, Chris. Take out your pencils and give me
Lisa, I have a question.
Yes,
How are you funded?
We're funded through the state opioid response grant. We're on an expansion grant that's funded through SACLA and MapForce. So when we talked about MapForce and Marilee Fowler, she's the executive director to making sure that those funds are distributed to very interested executive directors in the state.
Thank you.
Any closing remarks? Oh, there's my phone number. I knew I had it somewhere. I know I had it somewhere. So there's my contact information. We'd like to thank the North Phoenix Chamber of Commerce, OCJ Kids, MapForce, Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona, the National Guard, the Sheriff's Office, and this is our new logo. Appreciate everybody being here.